Come take a walk with me through Lidl as we look for gardening items. Now, Lidl is a store that when my family and I stayed in Germany, we went to this all the time. So while they don't have a lot of locations like other big grocery stores, they do have some in the Atlanta area. And so I want to share with you some of the things that we found. So we are in Georgia zone 8A, and so immediately outside, y'all, the weather is going to be nice. It's starting to get up in the 80s. They had some plants on the outside. Now I looked and tried to find the price on these azaleas, but I could never find them. So I went ahead and I walked over here to the other plants. Now some of them do need a little watering, but I'm here to show you the prices. So on their regular annuals, they are $1.99, and they had a variety of those. They also had some vegetable starts. Those were also $1.99, and I saw mostly different types of tomatoes that they had, mainly, although it did say assorted vegetables, and the bigger pots were $4.99. Next up, they had some hanging baskets. I believe these are like the sun patience and the geraniums. They are $12.99. And then as we move down to some petunias, they're assorted. They're $6.99 if you have like the MyLidl card. So you got a discount off. And then they had the calla lilies for $6.99. And this is also a calla lily, but it's more in a bowl type for $9.99. And then just more hanging baskets that they had for $7.99 with different assortments of flowers. Over here were the grapes. So these grapes are starting to bud out, and they had grapes and they also had trees. So the grapes were $18.99, and then underneath were dogwood trees, and those were $19.99, and they're also starting to bud out. Now there was a lady when I walked out with a big tree, and I do not know where she got this from. So as you walk in, they have a nice variety of fresh flowers. If you want to get some, they're all different prices. You can make your own flower arrangements. And then they also had some tropical plants here. They had some palms. They also had like the fiddle leaf fig, I want to say, maybe the ficus tree. These were $12.99. I thought that was a good price. Now this is a artificial olive tree that we're not interested in at all for $29.99, but they also had other plants, and it just depends. They had the cyclamens, and then they had the Kalanakoa. I hope I'm saying that right, but the cyclamens really had a nice bloom on there. Some were $6.99. The daisies, some were $8.99. They also had a variety of house plants that were mostly $14.99. And then right here, this is a better price. These are like the bare root grapes, the raspberries, and they also had the strawberries as well in here. Not too many strawberries, but I think they were like 15 bare root strawberries. Those were $4.99, and then the orchids were also $14.99. Now I want you to stay with me until the end. I'll show you what I did pick up. For some odd reason, I think that I have to buy something whenever I go into a store, but they did have this seed display up. If you want to start some things from seed, which you know that is one of the things I always like to do when it comes to gardening. So I'm so glad that I'm not a big bread or sweet lover, y'all, because the bakery was smelling so good. And side note, don't go to the store hungry. I was, but I didn't get anything because I'm like, you don't need it. But I had to walk around a little bit to kind of get a feel of the store. But finally, just like a true gardener, I can spot out garden items in a minute. So I came upon these hanging baskets right here. These are $7.99, but I want you to really pay attention. Like if you go to any store, pay attention to the weight. So the max weight is 4.41 pounds or 2 kilograms. And y'all, soil is heavy, so just keep that in mind. And then they had just some solar outdoor lights that you can stick in the ground for $4.99. And they had different nursery pots, different sizes, and they range from like $2.99 to $6.99. So if you want to pot up some things, if you start them from seed, They have that for you. And then they also have some planters on sale for $6.99. So they had two sizes. They had this size with these colors. Those were $6.99, but you didn't get the saucer to go with it. This one, you actually got the saucer, the drain pot up underneath for $4.99, which I thought was a good deal. And you got a variety of different colors. Now, evidently you have to have like a MyLidl. They had a lot of extra savings in there. I guess if you had the app or like a MyLidl card, you know, like the other grocery stores. So the bird sculptures, they had three different types. Those were $14.99. And then again, as you can see, like if you have the MyLidl, you can save an extra. So they had this patio base right here. If you have the app, you can save like an extra $5. They had an offset umbrella on sale. Those were $49.99 because they were regular price $69.99. Then they had like a market umbrella, and they had different types of styles and colors. And you can get it with your MyLidl, $34.99, or pay $39.99. Now this compost bin right here, you just kind of put it together if you want something enclosed, and this was $19.99. So as we're walking around the corner, they have more planters. They really had a lot of varieties of planters, and some were $12.99. The tomato tower was $12.99. Evidently it's not a lot left. I tried my best to kind of see what this was about. It looks to me like it's just a pot, and then underneath is like those trellises type enclosures, kind of like a cage that you have trained the tomato to go up in. But I couldn't lift it off, and I tried to go back to this one over here, which someone lifted it off, but that's what it looks like. So those are $12.99, but I think those were the only two left. Then they had these planters right here that were $7.99 in different colors, and then they had the railing type planters in different colors as well. And then you walk down a little bit. This was a good deal too, $3.99 for the planter box with the tray. These are a little bit longer, and evidently this 3-piece bistro set, which I missed, must have been a good deal. It was 50% off for $39.99. So as we're going down the rows, they have almost a whole row of just gardening items. Gardening gloves. This is a 2-pack for $3.99. They have the spray nozzles for your hose. That's $3.99. They have the actual hoses for $12.99. Although I was just looking at the one, like, where is the end of it at? I don't know if you have to put the end on that one or not. Those were like a brush, a garden brushes that you brush off your seats with. Then they had, if you did get a planter, but it doesn't come with a saucer, it was $1.99. You could pick that up to go along with it. And so they just had like a water misting cooling set for $9.99. And I use something similar, like a yard bag, when I'm out pruning and different things like that, so I don't have to keep walking back and forth. That was $7.99. They have more spray nozzles for your hose, $4.99. A lot of things. They even have a blower for $39.99. This was on sale, like a leaf blower, vacuum mulcher type thing. And so they have these coconut core linings right here. I had to mess with this one a little bit too, y'all. This is like a stackable, it is a 4-tier stackable planter, and it was hard to get loose, but I finally got it to get loose because I really wanted to kind of show you all the picture, what it looks like on the front when you stack them up like this. So it's a 4-tier stackable planter, and those were $9.99. I'll be sure that I link the video we just did at Aldi's They had a greenhouse here, y'all, but evidently this was the last one. And yeah, I'm real funny about boxes. And this one, I could never find a price for it. The box was real beat up, and I was like, but if you want some little herb planters to start maybe some seeds in, this was on sale. You got a 3-pack for $1.99, and you can, take like the chalk marker and just kind of write on the front what you're growing, and they had different colors right here. But to start seeds in, y'all know I'm gonna link the container gardening guide for free, because you always want to make sure they have drainage. And again, more planters, y'all. This was a self-watering box planter right here, but it had different colors. Those were $14.99. So evidently it pays to have like the MyLidl app as well, because I saw a lot of signs where you got extra savings if you had that app. But this store is pretty far from me. I mean, I'll go, but not often. And then they have like the insect house right here for the pollinators and the bees and different things like that that are underneath here. And they have, I think I was looking for the price, but I just wanted to show you all how it look. I guess they're $7.99. I think that was another sign. I don't think that was the price of that one. And then a lot of the steaks, this is what's left in here. Like if you need to stake something up, those were, they're like different prices, but I think those were $3.99 as well. These are more gloves, a little bit thicker. You just got one pair for $3.99. And then like if you wanted, surface protection, I guess, to put maybe under your pots, like if you have them in the house, you could do that. And then this was a huge, I just wanted to show y'all the size, a huge citronella candle if you want to sit outside. Those were $14.99. And then they also had the patio umbrella base right here, and then just some other things. I wanted to show y'all this. I thought this was cute. If you want to get cute with your house plants and maybe put a little decorative something in your plants, then that was cute for $3.99. And then they had these border fence right here, so it's like the garden, and then they also had some garden tools mixed in with it, but they also had a tomato tube fleece. So we're right on the cusp. It's still getting kind of cool at night, so if you need to cover up your tomatoes. And they also had weed barriers. Now the weed barrier said $3.99, so I'm thinking that the tomato tube was also $3.99. Now this was a little thicker material, like if you have a box and you want to, what is it, like the frost protection box, you want to cover it, you could put that thicker material on there. And then they have like this pressure sprayer. And these are just things to just make your garden area a little bit more fun. If you want to get a Bluetooth speaker, or if you're outside and you have a tablecloth, they have table weights. Now this one right here, this trellis, I had to tell myself, do not put this in your cart. You do not need this. You have trellises. So they had the trellis and they had the obelisk, I want to say, if that's the correct way. They also had some pots that looked more specific to succulents right here. Those were really cute with some of the things that they had on here. But I'm telling y'all, I walked by these like 3 times, $19.99, and I was like, nope, you're not getting it. And I didn't, but stay till the end. I'll tell you what I did get. I don't think this is what it was. It says $19.99. I'm thinking this is a birdhouse, y'all. Y'all let me know what this is. I have no idea. It says multi-tiered plant stand, but I'm like, no, this is the multi-tier plant stand right here for $19.99. So I'm just thinking that's maybe like a birdhouse. I don't know what that was. And again, if you want a Bluetooth speaker to listen to things while you're outside, that was a good price as well. And then like the $19.99 privacy screen, if you're out on the patio and you just kind of want to either keep the sun out or have a little privacy, that was great. And then they had this this 99.99 patio swing, 99.99. That looks like it was the last one. And then like the frost protection greenhouse they had, and they also that was 29.99. And the patio planter, this was a different one, and again, I'll link the video. This one was 49.99. But if you're in a cold area and you want to just grow maybe a little bit longer or start a little bit sooner, that was a good deal right here. And just some patio towels that they had. I think this came 9 in a box. So you got 9 patio towels, and it's like 11 by 8 by 11 by 8 inches. Also, just some decorative garden items as well. If you need to cover up your patio, some patio furniture covers. If you want to put a hanging basket on here, like these are the hooks that go with it for $3.99. Watering spikes for your indoor plants, $3.99. And just other decorative items. The LED light, solar, $9.99. And then this was also a trellis that, not a bad deal, $7.99 if you have some plants that need to be trellis. And then more decorative outdoor LED lights. These were $4.99. And I just wanted to show y'all. This also goes with the patio and the garden as well. The fire pits and a fire pit extender. Okay, you guys. So I ended up getting 2 of these bare root Concord grape plants that were at Lidl. Now I tried to look all over the box to see if they were the seeded Concord grapes or just the regular ones, because I am looking for seeded ones, but we'll see. I'm still just going to go ahead, get these out of the package and get them potted up. And so that way in a few years we'll be able to enjoy some nice homegrown Concord grapes from our garden. So let me know if you have a Lidl in your area and if they have some gardening finds as well. As always, thank you all so much for watching this video. Make sure you share this video with your family and your friends. And if you're not a subscriber, go ahead, tap that subscribe button. Make sure you tap the bell so that you can receive notification each and every time we upload a new video. Again, thank you all so much for watching. And until the next video, bye-bye.